guys, so now that it's a new month, it's December and it's a month with a school break. Oh my gosh, I'm just Hey guys, so now that it's a new month and it's December, it's a month with a school break, I'm actually going to do a TBR video. I've never done it before. I usually don't even have a set TBR list for a month. I kind of just pick off my big long one or just pick up a random book. That's more likely. I usually don't get to my TBR book, so I'm kind of excited to see how this goes this month. Also, for me, this is going to be a pretty stressful month because I'm in the midst of college applications and they're all due January 1st on top of finals and stuff. I can't just worry about that. No, it's college applications. So I have essays for 8 more schools to write, and given that I've tried to scale down my TBR, it's not scaled down. I'm probably not going to get through it all, and I really should have actually tried to go for a reasonable goal, but here we are. So first off is the Throne of Glass series. I actually finished Throne of Glass a few days ago, and oh my god, words cannot describe how obsessed I am with this series already. I love Selena so much, I love Dorian, I love Kale, and I know everyone is super obsessed with characters that you meet later on, so I'm excited for that, and I want more world building. I want to know more about this world, and I'm so excited to find out what happens next. This plot was just so intriguing and so addicting, and I'm super excited to finally be on this hype. It took me forever to actually read this book, no matter how widely loved it was, and I'm so glad I finally did. Second on my list is Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. Alexander Hamilton. This is an 800-page commitment to Alexander Hamilton, so I'm pretty sure that this book is going to be eating up most of my time this month, but I'm definitely going to read it. So I've actually been interested in kind of the Revolutionary War, 1770s to 1790s period, I'd say, or maybe to 1800s, because of APUSH, and I even bought a book around September about Hamilton and Jefferson just because of that interest. But then the Hamilton soundtrack came out, and I honestly am so obsessed with that soundtrack. That's all I listen to, that's all I sing, it's all I talk about. Don't talk to me about Hamilton the musical. I will talk for hours and hours and hours. And this book is the one that inspired Hamilton the musical, so of course I have to read it, obviously. And I just love Alexander Hamilton. He's my historical favorite, my problematic historical favorite, but yeah, I'm so excited to read this book. Historical junkie, and yes. As to the book I mentioned earlier about Jefferson and Hamilton, that's also on my TBR this month. I bought it a few months ago, but I just never got around to finishing it. So this month, Jefferson and Hamilton, The Rivalry That Forged a Nation by John Ferling. I'm just such a historical buff, and I love reading history books. I used to think I hated nonfiction until this past year when I started reading books about history. And so I've added another one because you can never get too much Hamilton. It's impossible. Next on my list is Myths and Legends, which I bought last week. On top of being a history nerd, I'm also a huge mythology nerd. And this book has so many different mythologies from different cultures and countries that I don't know anything about. I know a lot about your standard mythologies, but this has way more than I know about. So I'm super excited to read it. I got through the Africa section already, and there were so many interesting myths, and I'm just in love already. I love mythology, and it's one of my favorite things to learn about, so excited to read that. Next, we have China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. Actually, last December, I read Crazy Rich Asians on a beach trip, and it was so good. I was so in love. It was so funny. I love the cast of characters, and it was just a really engaging, kind of fun read. It was a perfect beach read. And so right after that, when this book was relatively new, I ran out and picked it up, but it just kind of somehow slid down my TBR list, got eclipsed by other books, whatever. So now it's been a year, and I'm going to read this book this month, especially if I go to the beach again, because it's perfect for beaches. This book I've added only because I have to read it, but I will be reading it. It will be taking up some of my time, especially the annotating. So I might as well get credit for it. I've already read Gatsby. I read it 2 years ago when the movie first came out, but we are reading it in AP Lit, so there we have it. I will be reading The Great Gatsby this month. And finally, we have Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I started this book today, and honestly, I really already like super into it. I'm only on page I'm on page 30 and I'm already excited about it. Usually it takes a long time for me to get into a book, but not this one. I was really enticed and intrigued in the first few pages, and that's rare. So I can't wait to finish this. I know there's a lot of hype about it, so I'm hoping it's as good as it already seems, and that's what I'm going to be doing today after I finish my college essay. One of them, I should say. So, yeah, I think I may have overstepped on this TBR list, but we'll see. I'm not really good at setting reasonable estimates for myself, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how far I can actually get, to kind of have a goal. So, we'll see by the end of the month how this goes. Well, until next time, and let me know what you have on your TBR list for December.